My name is Adebo Ali Adejare, and it's still the best sporting news and sporting show in the whole of the universe. It's News Instant Sports, and we're going to be discussing football, basketball, baseball, and of course, return of Tom Brady. I was just joking, no baseball, anyways. I have with me today my co-host Oracle Kachi, and of course, Oracle 2.0 Sheyi Ajayi. Sheyi, you want to introduce yourself first?
Yeah, sport fans, welcome to another week of sporting events. Even though my precious Manchester United crashed out of the Champions League last week, but we'll also say it was well deserved victory on the part of Atletico
you predicted it.
team. And on that note, welcome to the show today.
All right. Of course, at the disposed Oracle. Catch you.
Sports fans, there is no better way to introduce Sheyi than to call him Oracle 2.0. Sheyi has been spot on with his predictions the last 2 weeks in the Champions League. I think we should ask him who the next president of Nigeria would be on the show. That is how much of Octopus Paul that Sheyi has become right now. But sports fans, always a pleasure to be here, to see the backdrop for those of you watching us on YouTube. AC Milan can't stop winning, grinding out wins, 3 points ahead of the nearest opponent, Napoli, and 6 points ahead of their city rivals, Inter Milan. 8 games to go in the Serie A. It's shaping to be, it looks like we'll probably get our second star on the jersey, but I don't want to overthink it because some bad belly people fool this show. But all this we will dissect with other things. Debo, I'm looking at you, but get ready for a cracking event today.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, guys, for that wonderful introduction. And to something we did not talk about a couple of weeks back is the potential return of Tom Brady to the NFL. It came back. It was cryptic about it, of course. He did not say, I'm coming back. He said there is a possible chance of him coming back to the NFL. I don't know. Maybe after he saw Ronaldo playing at 37, I'm like, what the hell? I can still do this, you know what I'm saying? And the guy is potentially going to come back to the NFL. Kachi, honestly, I'm not so excited about it. I feel he has done his bit and he has shown the way, and he'll probably go down as the greatest in the sporting history of NFL, if not across all sports, you know. And for me, it's always good for you to live where the ovation is loudest. Would you advise Tom Brady? I know he can still play, maybe not at that level that he wants to be again, you know, but should he just call it quits right now, just the way he has done, instead of trying to come back and or is this just a sensation to further sell his diet to the world?
Well, I think it's a mix of everything. But the most important one was that even before now, Tom Brady has always said he wanted to play to at least the age of 45. He's 1 year shy of that target. And even though he developed what I generally call his life to the sport and felt he was missing out on his children's development and growth, but after spending exactly 40 days, he realized 40 days is enough to spend with these guys in a year. Maybe they almost
let me go back.
crazy.
Let's go back to
what got me a bit, I won't say surprised, was he said he had unfinished business. I don't know what somebody who has 22 years, 4 MVPs, regular season MVP, Super Bowl rings, still says he has unfinished business. In terms of uncertainty, it is certain he's coming back. He's going to play 1 more year with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. I just don't know what he means by unfinished business. But I have to say that Tom Brady, without being biased, is probably still among the top 10 players, even at the old, ripe age of 45, top 10 quarterbacks. He automatically makes the Buccaneers a Super Bowl contender in the new season. It's good to see, rather. Let's see what happens between the old and the ever-improving new generation of quarterbacks. Can't wait for the new season to start.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Oroku Kachi, and of course, LeBron James is second on the goal scoring charts in the NBA history. 36,939 points. Shortly closely behind Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, of course. There's nothing we can say about him. Forced to break the 10,000 assists, 10,000 goals, 10,000, basically everything, field throws, everything. He has set the standard for everything apart from the 3-pointers that we know Steph Curry and the rest are good for, or better at than him. And honestly, depends on the generation you are from. I know most of the new folks will tell you undoubtedly that LeBron is the best basketballer they've ever seen. And of course, people that have seen older generations will probably tell you is Magic Johnson. Some will tell you is Michael Jordan, and some might even argue that it's Kobe Bryant. But realistically, Kachi, based on, I know stats alone does not say everything, but of course this stat is undeniable. We can't even argue with this. It said the pace so much with his closest rivals on every level that you'd be like, oh wow, forced to get to 1,000, 2,000, 3,000, 4,000. That's not meat. You don't get to that level by being an hard worker like Cristiano Ronaldo alone. You have something deep inside of you that others don't have. You know what I'm saying? So how would you, at the end of the day, compare the statistics of LeBron to exactly what we see happen? I don't want to base it on statistics. It's like saying Cristiano Ronaldo, because he's the highest goal scorer of all time in football, is the best striker ever. That's arguable, right? So based on what we see and based on the statistics, how do we play LeBron in the Hall of Fame amongst the best?
The worst that LeBron James can ever be, whether from the new school to the old school or whatever, the worst I think he would be is the second best ever basketball player.
Wow.
That's the lowest I think LeBron can be when ultimately his career ends. Except maybe if you ask the likes of Kevin Garnett, Paul Pierce, and the vaunted Celtics team, who just don't like LeBron James. So I think they would be the only biased people. But from probably majority of pundits and listeners or viewers would rank him, if not the best, but the second greatest. But it pays testament to how well this man has. He's not going to leave the sport with regrets. Let me put it that way. He maximized every single gift that he has. This was a guy in 2011 struggled with shooting threes, such that in that 2011 finals against the San Antonio Spurs, Greg Popovich deliberately, the game plan was, don't let him get into the box, make LeBron shoot threes. So I'm basically saying LeBron was known mostly, or wasn't known for his shooting
abilities.
But this is a man that will probably get that scoring title at the pace he's going, with about 150 games less than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar played. It's a big testament to his work ethic. It's a big testament to his acumen, the game acumen and his IQ. It's a big testament to his longevity. A lot of people will point to the 6-0 record that Michael Jordan has in the finals, but also a lot of people will tell you that LeBron James went to 10 straight finals, something that even Michael Jordan did not get to do. So at the end of it all, I believe that the worst LeBron would be ranked in the minds and eyes of people. The worst would be the second greatest ever, which it's no mean feat, considering that the NBA is celebrating its 75th year as a professional sport, and somebody who came in straight from high school comes in, maximizes his talents to the best of his ability, leaves a legacy so great that the next generation may not even talk about Michael Jordan. That is an immense statistic. Yes, all this is happening in a year when the LA Lakers are not competing, but nobody will ever accuse LeBron James of not giving out his
His
best
best.
every time he's on the floor. And that is a hallmark to a great career.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. And of course, Steph actually got injured. And now there's a 2-week timetable to evaluate him. His season is over. The regular season is over for Steph Curry right now. The best we're looking at is during the playoffs. Kachi, how potentially could this affect the Golden State Warriors in terms of what they will finish at in the regular season, and which could potentially affect their playoffs chances as well?
In a very, very big way. Right now, the Golden State Warriors are currently ranked third with about 10 or 12 games to go in the regular season. They're just 9 games ahead of Utah Jazz, or about 10 games ahead of the Utah Jazz, who are currently ranked fourth. So maybe the worst they can do is to go to the fourth seed. But the fourth seed also means that there are potential banana skin teams lurking between the 7th seed and the 8th seed, which the Golden State Warriors may potentially face. In this case, I'm talking of the LA Lakers. The Lakers, if they make it, or even the LA Clippers,
the Clippers
themselves.
Yeah.
So there are certain ways you want to start your playoff run. Sometimes you don't want it to be as hard as it is. That's why we've always said that the Brooklyn Nets is not your ideal first-round opponent.
Of course.
But coming back to Steph Curry, the injuries significantly rather impact them. One, their playing style, their attack goes through Steph. Whether we want to believe it or not, he's one of the most erudite point guards in the game. Yes, we know him for shooting threes from anywhere on the court, but his passing ability, his game playing or playmaking abilities is almost second to none. And if they don't get that, especially in the first round of the playoffs, after we see the evaluation in 2 weeks' time, if they have to extend his time rehabilitating that torn ligament, because it's a ligament injury, and truthfully, you can't put a timetable to a ligament injury. We saw that with Kevin Durant. We thought it was just 1 season he would be out after he tore his Achilles heel and ligament, but he had to sit 2 seasons. What if that's the case with him? We also saw that with just Klay Thompson. He came back, tried to play on that same knee, and tore that same ligament again. So it's pretty dicey. But in terms of their playoff chances, it significantly dents it if Steph Curry is not there. We saw how important Draymond Green is to them. We thought they were now going to make a significant push to possibly get in the 2nd seed in the Western Conference, but we probably will not get to see both of them play together in the regular season again. Draymond came back recently only for them to lose Steph. It's a big blow to the Warriors, and my heart goes out to them. And my heart really goes out to that team.
All right, perfect. And of course, the Bucks look like they can't do without Giannis. Once Giannis is not playing, the Bucks folds up like a pack of cards. And of course, in the Formula One regular season, somehow Lewis Hamilton managed to finish in the top 3. Right now, just to chip it in, Barcelona is killing. They are murdering Real Madrid right now. The score is 4-0 right now.
4-0.
4-0, 63rd minute. Back to what we're saying, Kachi. The Formula One. The Formula One.
The Bahrain Grand Prix, the very first race of the year in Formula One. And we thought, when we did the preview, we thought this was going to be another 2-horse race between Mercedes and Red Bull. But during the testing phase, we realized Mercedes does not have the pace yet on the new car, the W13. But that is not to say they will not remain competitive as the year goes on.
Typically they have these slow starts, right?
Yes, and a lot of people accuse Mercedes of sandbagging, but the truth is they were off it. They finished qualifying 5th. Hamilton finished 5th, and his new teammate George Russell could only start 9th. But as Providence would have it, Red Bull that started second and fourth with Max Verstappen and Sergio Perez struggled for pace all through the race. And 3 laps to the end, they decided to retire both cars, giving Lewis Hamilton, who had managed by that time to come fourth, to sneak into
onto the podium.
The top 3. But I think the bigger story is not Lewis Hamilton or whatever happened to Red Bull. The bigger story is that Ferrari looks like the real deal this year. We completely omitted them when we did the preview of the season, thinking it was going to be between Red Bull and Mercedes. But my God, they started 1-2. Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz finishing. They look like the real deal. Good pace, good tire management. It may not be a 2-horse race, but a 3-horse race this year. I'm excited for what the Formula One season holds.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Shea, I'm going to come to you right now. Novak Djokovic has been cleared for the French Open. Given his level of rustiness, oh my God, the level at which is rusty right now, his rustiness level right now, and the rest. How do you think he's going to fare at the French Open?
Okay, Novak Djokovic. We've always known this man to be a quite resilient tennis player, a fighter, a man that never goes down without a fight. And even at times, it seems Djokovic plays for the fans to just enjoy. He shows as if he can actually blow away anybody in 2 or 3 sets, depending on the tournament, but decides to go 3 or 5 for the fans. So if we are talking about rustiness, I don't think that can have anything to do with Novak. I believe as we are speaking, he's training, he's having 1 or 2 mini competitions behind closed doors that he's doing to keep himself fit. Djokovic is going to really come back like a lion. We need to expect that, especially with what we are seeing in Rafael Nadal at the moment. Nobody seems to measure up to Nadal.
To Nadal right now.
To Rafa, and that is actually what Djokovic needs to see.
To
spur him. To spur him for us to see a different Novak. Going forward.
All right, perfect. We'll look forward to seeing the new Novak. Hopefully, it's going to still be the resilient and the mental and cerebral Novak Djokovic. And of course, in the Indiana Wells right now, Rafa Nadal is going to be playing against Taylor Fritz. That will come later on Sunday night or early morning, depending on the time where you are right now, on Monday morning. And of course, at the Indiana Wells as well, Maria Sakkari is lost potentially against Iga Swiatek. So potentially, I said potentially, coach, correct me if I'm wrong, or you can abuse me if I'm wrong, but potentially lost against, because I'm pretty sure the match might not finish, but we'll keep a tab on it. And if we finish it before the end of the show, we're going to be giving you the results of that match. But currently, Iga leads 6-4, 4-1 on both sets. And of course, Kachi, I'm going to come to you. Medvedev, I don't know why I keep mispronouncing his name. Medvedev has to show an evidence that is not supporting Putin before he can participate at the French Open, and of course, not being stripped of his world #1 title right now. Is it safe to say it's fair for him to show that I'm not supporting the aggression, or let the poor kid enjoy his ovation while it lasts? Of course, we know maybe before the US Open or the Wimbledon Open, Nadal is going to become #1 anyways, or Novak is going to become #1 anyways. So is it safe to just allow the poor guy enjoy his ovation while it lasts, or we need that evidence right now?
I don't think we need that evidence, simply because I believe it's an infringement on his fundamental right to have his opinion, but most especially to have an opinion and not voice it. Medvedev rather, and I think Debo has corrected me. Daniel Medvedev.
Sorry about that.
Has in the past not ventured into politics. He's made no political statements, and I'm talking of before the invasion. He's never come out to say whether he was in support of Vladimir Putin or not, even before an invasion. I don't see why he has to be forced to make a statement just to retain his number one status. I think even if he has an opinion, because he doesn't have a track record of voicing out opinions relating to politics, he should not be forced to. That is what I meant by an infringement on his right. Because I personally have an opinion, but just because I have the opportunity to be on air does not mean I have to force that opinion on the listeners and the viewers. And I personally think that is what the ATP should follow. This man, unlike Djokovic, who had something to say about the COVID-19 vaccine, even when it was denied, stood together with his president, who people knew was a bit tyrannical. We know that he has always had an opinion in political matters. Medvedev does not. I personally don't think they should let him do that. Also, because he hasn't, I don't think he should also be punished for it. So let's put it this way. Most of the, Yarmolenko for West Ham United, I remember him asking for some time off the game for him to process what was happening. Nobody forced him. Yes, nobody forced him. And it's probably not the only Ukrainian out there playing in other parts of Europe. Except they have, but I don't watch the news. But I don't think many of these major Ukrainian sports players have been forced to make statements. The world is only standing in solidarity with them because we want peace. But now forcing an individual to make a statement under duress, I think is an infringement on his right. Like you rightly said, Nadal would get it right now. The pace is going. Let the young man enjoy his day in the sun. Exactly. It will probably only last for 1 month. My opinion.
All right, perfect. Sheyi, I don't know if you agree totally with Kachi or you have a dissenting opinion to that.
No. I totally agree with Kachi, and I also think for ATP to come out to do that, don't you think that will also affect the psyche of that particular player? He lost in the second round or thereabouts. I was totally surprised. And you definitely know that such things will definitely affect the psyche of a player. This is a sport that is a one-man sport. And the moment you lose that concentration, you might not be able to, get the rhythm back. They already, if you notice, all Russian players are really not playing under their flag at the moment. Their flag was not being flown in competitions. You understand? That is enough a message to the world that these guys are actually fighting for themselves. They are on the pitch to entertain the fans. Nothing about Putin or Russia about this. So I was surprised about that particular action by the ATP. It's really something that is not good for individuals, especially sportsmen that engages in individual sports, and it's unfortunate, but that's the world we live in now.
We live in right now. All right, perfect. Sometimes they say your silence could be golden, and that's what they did in the case of Artem Zuyuba. Zuyuba, of course, the captain of the Russian national team, where it was attacked by the Ukrainian players. That not voicing out is a crime, and I wonder how that makes any sense. It doesn't to me anyways, but if it does, please let me know what you think about that. Kachi, I'm going to go back to you now. Rafa Nadal has come out to say there should be a stiffer punishment for Alexander Zverev for shouting at the officials. I think he has had enough punishment. I think anything beyond what you already have, a probation, an extended possible suspension, loss of revenue, his points gathered over that tournament, not counting towards his ATP ranking. I think those are enough. Anything further than that, I see it as an aggression.
Which hunted.
Which
But my
exactly.
question is this after, because I know when the incident happened, Nadal made that statement saying he should have been suspended. Did he come back to double down?
No.
Oh,
After it wasn't after. It wasn't after. But
okay, all right.
he's saying he's calling for more punishment for him. That's what he has right now. It's not enough. Or what was not enough.
I think it's enough. Nadal obviously has his opinion, and he thinks he probably is influential enough to knock off one of the younger threats to his throne by having him suspended for 1 year. I personally believe there are selfish reasons behind that suggestion or opinion from Nadal. Zverev is one of the few people who match him on any surface. That's it. Zverev can stand toe to toe with him on the clay court. Yes, Nadal is still the clay court specialist. But he knows that any chances to possibly win a 14th title at the Roland Garros, he may have to go through an Alexander Zverev. And what better way than to get him off? Yeah, so I personally think it's whatever Zverev has faced, the loss of revenue, points deduction is enough. You don't beat a man when he's down. Since it happened, the young man has not come out to complain, unlike Nick Kyrgios that Nadal defeated at the Indian Wells through his racket, kept swearing at Nadal and at the umpire, and nothing was done. I don't know what else you need to do. Sometimes painting people as bad men when technically they only had a bad day may not be the right thing. Nadal on his own has had off days, but because he's generally a nice guy, people don't judge him by those bad days. So
based on the bad days.
Please rest assured there were definitely selfish reasons behind that statement from Rafa.
I just appreciate what you said. Nick has come out to say he is happy being the villain. He's happy with it. And I was watching one of his interviews, and he was talking about a game he played. It wasn't against, I think it was against Juan de Petro. And he said while playing, he had the large fats. And of course, you know the next thing that came out of that, it was a poo instead of a fat. And he went to the dressing room, threw the whole thing on the dressing room, and all the players that passed through it were so upset seeing that. That's the kind of player Nick Kyrgios is, right? Is a crazy Aussie. Of course, we'll go on a quick break right now. When we'll come back, we'll be jumping straight into the review of the Champions League, the preview of the draws, the review of the Europa League, the preview of the Europa League, and of course, the Europa Conference League. Don't go anywhere, guys. We'll be back. We'll be right back. Yeah, so what do we start from? We start from the lesser competition, which is the Europa League, but of course, Europa Conference League, sorry. But when you have Jose Mourinho in a particular competition, automatically it becomes lesser. He has a little bit of glamour to it. And don't forget that the other team that were white and London, they could not even qualify for the later part of this.
Not for on-field reasons, not for on-field
reasons. They could not qualify for the later. Whether it's on field, whether it's not, are they the Europa Conference League right now? They are not. With their white jersey, they are not there. So I don't understand the English are speaking out, Kachi. You just want to back them, but you can't back this. You can't back. Okay, whatever. You support AC Milan. I don't blame you. Sheyi, I want to come to you straight for this one. This is both Games versus Roma. Roma firing on all cylinders right now. They were pretty awesome. Wicked as well. Tammy Abraham playing pretty well. They don't have a fantastic team, 100%. That team is far from what Fonseca had a couple of seasons ago that got them to the semifinals of the Champions League. But looking at this competition, is it safe to say they would be able to at least push a team like Bodø, the Norwegian team?
Obviously, you expect a team like Roma playing in the Italian league. Also, we're talking of one of the best coaches in recent time, talking of Jose Mourinho. you expect them to definitely be in the final of this competition. Against Bordeaux, definitely they're going to qualify. Trying to see who can really stop them winning this particular competition. That's what I'll be looking at.
Looking at, not down.
Exactly.
All right,
Not
perfect.
them.
And of course, Kachi, Feyenoord, look, the Dutch league is well represented right now. They still have two teams left in the competition. Feyenoord versus Slavia Prague. I know people don't think much of Slavia Prague, but they've come to the Champions League in the recent past or a couple of years ago to give a good account of themselves, win on grounds that they're not supposed to, right? Feyenoord, fantastic team, youthful as well. But on a scale of preference, would you think depending on the form, the competition mine is not going to take setup piece until another maybe 2 weeks or sometime later in
3 weeks time.
3 weeks time, exactly. So it's still a little bit far ahead. Things might change quickly in football. But as we stand off today, what do you think could potentially win between these two teams? Would you give a nod, the nod?
Potentially, I think I'm going to give a hot take and say I think Slava Prague stand a better chance to qualify. I always say that because anybody who gets to play the second leg at home kind of stands a better chance if they can manage the first leg results as best as they can. A big case in point would be well, there are several instances you can bring up. Slava Prague has this benefit of being an unknown, even amongst the European elites. Not a lot of people watch Czech Republic league games, so you don't know what you will get from them. But like you said, they've been in Europe even more recently than in the UCL, more recently than Feyenoord has been in that competition. They have a bit more tactical news. I haven't watched a lot of their games, but I've seen some of the goals they scored, a lot of team goals. Based on that, I will probably say right now, I would tilt slightly, maybe it's a 51-49 ratio towards Slavia Prague.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. And Sheyi, I'm gonna come to you. Barcelona versus Olympique Marseille. Marseille, for all the talent that they have right now, that we always see in their team, they just seem to fall like a pack of cards. When you see them, you expect, oh, Marseille should win this kind of game, even in the French league, and they don't. Is this going to be a potential banana skin for them?
Yes, it could be. It could be. It could be. Just as Kachi also said about Slavia Prague, PAOK Salonika is another team that we've always been seeing in European competitions.
Yeah.
Even though we've not really seen them in the latter stages, like seeing them in the semi-final, thereabouts. But they are a team that could surprise you on their day. So definitely this could be a potential banana skin for Olympique Marseille. But on a normal day for Marseille, if everybody comes to the party on the day, I expect them to be the one to come out of this time.
Be sure I'm going to be supporting Marseille anyway because of a certain William Saliba and of course Matteo who is going to sign for Marseille at the end of the season anyways. Because Sonny Abacha does not want him at Arsenal. Kachi, I'm going to come to you now. Leicester City blow hot and cold. 1 minute they're looking so good, defeating Manchester United at Old Trafford. Next minute they're probably losing to Burnley and looking so ordinary. And sometimes you just go, oh, what's happened with these guys? And some of their major players that can influence their games, players like Wilfred Ndidi, Jamie Vardy, have failed to keep themselves fit over the course of the season consistently. I believe Wilfred is out injured right now as we speak, which breaks my heart because of the match that Nigeria has against Ghana, of course. And looking at Thomas Partey, it just gives me an attack. But don't let me digress too much. Leicester City, PSG. And don't forget that PSG have a certain guy certain golden boy. Okay, sorry, former golden boy Mario Götze, who we thought was going to take the world by storm after scoring that wonderful goal at the final of the World Cup. But no, we didn't. But here we are, Leicester City inconsistent, PSV quite consistent, especially in the Dutch league.
Yeah, I think this is where Leicester's fairy tale. I don't want to call it a fairy tale, but this is where their journey in the Europa Conference League would end.
Oh, wow.
As, they've not been able to kill off games they dominated, even in the competition. Where they play so well, they still end up conceding one goal that changes the complexion of ties or games they've played in. PSV is a bit more compact, have a bit more experience. Yes, they may look like a young team, but they are filled with experienced players who just started their careers really early. I think the injuries will become too much for Leicester to handle, and I see PSV making this, but they will secure this only in the second leg.
All right, perfect. I know it's a very small competition, so most attention is not really on this competition, but I feel it's a way to embrace the lower rank leagues and show us exactly what they can do in this kind of competition, and of course make money for themselves as well. This gives me a thought about the Corporators Cup of yesteryears, where teams that win their own cup competition in their countries come together and play as champions. And if we are seeing a club like Roma that has been perennial failure in Europe, Leicester City, Marseille that has of recent past have been failing in the European competitions as well, PSV coming back to the forefront and say we have, or even a team like Arsenal that has never won a Champions League and have not won any team European trophy in recent time, to come out, we have this in our cabinet as well. Of course, that does not include Spurs because they can never win a trophy. I want to go to the Europa League right now, and I'm going to stay with you, Kachi. Just a rundown of the matches in the Europa League. Monaco lost against Braga. Braga qualifying automatically 3-1 on the 9th. And of course, Rangers qualifying against Sevilla. And of course, Barcelona managed to win thanks to that perfect and lovely goal by Predi against Galatasaray, 2-1 away from home after playing the first leg, I believe 0-0 where they could not score. Yeah, and Atlanta defeated Bayer Leverkusen away from home 1-0 to qualify 4-2 on the night. Lyon defeating Porto at home at 2-1. Eintracht Frankfurt defeating qualifying after a 1-1 draw against Real Betis, and of course Sparta Moscow that have our own Victor Moses were kicked out of the tournament because of Vladimir Putin, which automatically made RB Leipzig qualify for the next round. And West Ham defeated Sevilla 2-0 in London to qualify 2-1 on aggregate. Now to the basically to the draws itself, to the draws proper. RB Leipzig is going to be playing against Atlanta. We know what Atlanta could do potentially. Frankfurt against Barcelona. Frankfurt tend to look like they are not a very coordinated team, but they are, as far as I'm concerned. West Ham against Lyon, Braga against Rangers. I'm going to start with you, Kachi. Braga against Rangers. Giovanni Van Bronckhorst has done pretty well over the past couple of months, having taken over from Gerrard. They probably will not win the Scottish League, but they look more like a compact team as it were right now. Braga, we know Braga are a technical team as well. So it looks like too much up, especially if Rangers can play very well in Scotland. And they've been knocking the door.
I have to tell you that I've been immensely surprised and impressed by how Scotland Rangers have navigated the Europa League this season. I thought they would suffer
loss of Gerrard.
A downward spiral trend after losing their former coach, Steven Gerrard. But he must have instilled immense mental fortitude into that team. They are not there. They are not playing direct football. It's filled with flair. It's filled with tenacity. It's filled with incisive penetration football, and they are getting the goals as well. Right mix of youth and experience, and it's been a pleasure to watch. That being said, I actually will find it very hard to go against Rangers. They are the form team, second probably only to Barcelona, remaining in the Europa League. I expect them, maybe not easily, but I expect them over the course of 2 legs to win this time.
All right, perfect. So Kachi is going for Rangers on this one.
Yeah.
Shay, West Ham versus Leon. Leon just parade the players. West Ham have David Moyes as well. So looks like a matchup to me as well, if you ask me.
Yeah, it does. It does look a good matchup in terms of what's going to come out of the type of football to watch. I think West Ham has good players going forward, the way they play, even though the likes of Jared Bowen is injured at the moment. We've been seeing what Benrahma has been up to in recent weeks, just replacing Benrahma, and they still have the likes of Susek and
exactly.
Mikel
Antonio.
Mikel Antonio in attack. Leon, I don't think they've not been having a good season actually. If you look at the Ligue 1, I think they are like a mid-table team now. This is a club that ruled they actually they actually named the French league the Farmers League. About like 20 years ago, they had like 8 or 9 straight trophy. Nobody was close to them.
Yeah, they had the likes of Makelesi, Diarra,
exactly, Sonny Anderson over the years.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And that magician, that Brazilian magician, Jonio Bucano.
Yeah, exactly. And see what has come off Leon in the last 10 years or so. At the moment, they are sitting 10th on the Ligue 1 table. So I don't think a team that's inconsistent will be able to match up with the stillness in David Moyes'
West Ham
setup. So I'll be rooting for West Ham for this particular title. Move on to the next round. Yeah.
All right, perfect. I disagree with you anyways because I'm looking at the Leon team. I think for some strange reason, I think they have quality in their team if they show up and they are not ridiculously spent like they usually are, they would do one over Moyes team. Moyes team lacks the Kozuma whatever. It's basically inspiring on the team. You look at the team and you look at this wasn't the team that we had like 2-3 months ago. Honestly, I saw them against Sports. I'm like, okay, whatever. It's not like they're opponents to Arsenal, so I don't wish them well anyways. Kachi, Frankfurt versus Barcelona. Xavi has changed the narrative. They just killed. Someone should call 911. They just killed Ancelotti and the whole of Real Madrid a couple of days ago. And we're looking at it, Frankfurt. I don't know what Frankfurt will do to escape Aubameyang, Ousmane Dembele, Adama Traore, Memphis Depay. Frankly, I don't know what they will do. Barcelona, trust me, Barcelona is a cheat in this kind of competition.
Yes. Barcelona has come into form at just the very right time, the business end of the season. I said Rangers are the second most informed team remaining, second only to Barcelona. They just decimated Real Madrid, their bitter rivals in the El Clasico, winning for the first time in 7 attempts. Shows that the confidence level is high. Players are bought into what Xavi is bringing now. Tiki-taka version 2.0 is alive and well right now in Catalonia. Dembele and Aubameyang pairing well, resurrecting how well they succeeded in Dortmund, now in Barcelona. Expect that man to get his new contract. All that I've said to point and to argue that the tournament is the tournament, not just Frankfurt. The tournament is Barcelona's to lose. As a matter of fact, it will be bigger news if they lose it than if they win it.
Yeah, but 100%, and that means if they win it, that means even if they don't finish top 4 in Spain, they're still going to qualify for
Europe. To the top.
And just to point it out, as of next season, it's not going to be Camp Nou again, or no camp. It's going to be the Spotify no camp.
Yeah. So for all Real Madrid fans who stream their music on Spotify, know that you are sponsoring the Barcelona Stadium.
What a way to put it. Shay, Leipzig versus Atlanta. Atlanta looks good. They have a wicked striker. They have a lovely setup. Their coach has done pretty well. RB Leipzig as well. You can't push them away. Even Bayern Munich tried to decimate this team by taking out their heart, but they've stood. You see in Nkunku with like 25 goals and 13 assists. The young kid is doing it pretty well, So it's for me, it's difficult to call. I don't know about you, Shay.
Yeah, I think this is going to be the most interesting match of the week. Yeah, of the lot, because I can see 2 teams with good flair also, and I think these are also teams that have stayed consistent over the last 3 to 4 years in Europe. They've been there. Even when they've lost out of the Champions League, you see that these are teams that exactly they give a good account of themselves, and these are teams that don't play negative football also. So actually looking now to see a fantastic tie over 2 legs. It's tough to call. You rightly mentioned that Bayern Munich, they've tried to pull out key players from RB Leipzig, but guess what? This is what they say about when you have a system that works. It doesn't matter who they pull out. You still try as much as possible to recreate your team. And I think that is what Leipzig has been doing over the years. And for this tie, I'm actually leaning towards Leipzig to win over 2 legs to qualify.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. But what you just said, that when you have a system in place, it just makes me remind something like there's a Yoruba that when you throw stone into the market, it just kind of hits one of your relative or someone you know. I wonder why that same system is not working at Manchester United right now. I'm just going to leave it at
that.
Too early.
It's too early to it's too early to say.
Okay, all right, perfect. If that will make you sleep at night, I'm with you on that. Of course, review of the Champions League. Of course, on Tuesday, Manchester United disgraced Premier League, disgraced Cristiano Ronaldo, ensuring that Cristiano Ronaldo since 2009, as a matter of fact, 2007 is going to end its season trophyless. I'll probably not even go to the Champions League for all we know, with a 1-0 defeat at the Theatre of Dreams. We can't even call it that these days again. Kachi, terrible night.
Well, it didn't start terribly. Manchester United came out with purpose and verve, zipping the ball about. I think it was really a case of not taking their chances when they had it in the first half. Elanga being too eager, probably already seeing his name in the bright lights, with the first chance he had that he skied over. Atletico being, as usual, very disciplined with 2 banks of 4 and bided their time, and they took their chances. They probably only had maybe 3 shots on target all game long. And so that they had a 33% conversion rate, letting you know that they knew they were not going to get a lot of chances. I said it, even though I picked against Atletico. I mentioned it when we were making the picks.
Ronaldo
Every English club will regret why Liverpool allowed Atletico to come out from that group. They should have let AC Milan win so Atletico does not come out. We know they're tough nuts to crack. As soon as they got their goal, they became totally unplayable, relying on tactical fouls, delaying the game, extending the time, and further frustrating the Real. Further frustrating the Manchester United players. I saw a snippet on Twitter saying United went to Napoli and asked to sign Koulibaly. Napoli asked for 75 million. United said they were joking. 2 weeks later, United paid 89 million for the services of Harry Maguire. And now, 2 years down the line, who has improved, who has regressed? It's been a horror show for United. I really don't know where they go from here, because not qualifying for the Champions League means, and Arsenal can attest to that, you hardly are able to attract the best talents to come. Even the best coaches don't want to come and wait 1-2 years before they get back to the big league. And in England, there's something I've noticed. When you fall out of the top 4 and not qualify for the Champions League, it's usually not for 1 season. Oftentimes, you get to be in the doldrums for 2-3 years. Arsenal, Spurs can attest to that. But it was a horror show, and credit to Atletico for getting the job done.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. Just to brush on what you said, there was a particular time they wanted to play a corner, and Maguire actually nodded Cristiano Ronaldo, and I'm
yes, I remember that.
I'm wondering what the hell is wrong with this guy? You know, I don't understand.
89 million. It's 89 million pounds.
You guys should loan that guy back to All City. It does not even deserve to play in Leicester City to start with. I don't know.
We'll loan him to us now.
Arsenal. Come on, man. Come on. Shay, I want to come to you. Predicted this one against all odds. Everybody went for Ajax, and for some strange reason, you said Benfica were going to win, and they did 1-0 away from home at the Amsterdam Arena, which is terrific. That means more money for Benfica right now.
Yeah, definitely. And I think the Ajax team should have taken their chances in the first leg. And yeah, and the way Benfica played actually in the first leg actually gave me the pointed me in the direction to really predict a win for Benfica, because I think the luck shifted to their side when Ajax failed to actually put them to the sword in the first leg. They were bound to just wait and see what Ajax can do, try to curtail them, get a goal out of the Blues and shut down. And that is what they did on the night. And kudos to them going to the to Amsterdam to actually get that kind of win in a very delicate tie. Big ups to Benfica on the night.
All right, perfect. And the team that does not have a credit card that is working right now actually did defeat Lille 2-1 away from home, which is perfect and terrific for them. Good one. But Shay, I'm going to just ask, Chelsea tend to thrive under adversity. I don't know the cultural value that was built into the team's DNA. And I'm looking at this team, if they get all their players back, we could potentially, for me, I don't know for anyone else, we could potentially see Chelsea qualifying for the final yet again. Do you see that way, or you see it differently?
Yeah, I think it's a possibility. And if you see what we've been looking at, we've been watching all season long. I think Chelsea has been the team you don't want to play. This is a team that has lost maybe 3 matches all season long, and these are not matches that they lost by so much margin or they were totally dominated. And guess what? I think Chelsea is also coming into the reality of playing without Lukaku, getting the best out of the other players
Players.
in that attacking formation. Right now, I fear for Lukaku because these other guys are getting the goals and they're playing quite better without him on the pitch. So, and that has actually made them more deadly. If you have a team that play with a particular striker and you know the moment you shut down that striker,
Yeah, that's the
others
end of the
cannot
attack.
score.
Yeah.
But right now, they look like a team that can score from all over the pitch. So it makes that more difficult for the teams that play against them. So as you said, I won't be surprised if I see them in semi-final or final of the Champions League once again, because they are quite a difficult team to
Team to
play
play
against.
against.
And don't forget that this is a team that hardly concede. So if you put all this into the equation, it makes Chelsea a formidable team in Europe.
Yeah, trust me, Shay, the guy that bought Lukaku has gone back to Russia. Lukaku is not going to play so much in that team again. That is the truth. It does not fit into the system. I'm not saying I'm a big fan of Lukaku, but it does not fit into the system of Chelsea right now. It doesn't. So I'm not surprised. I think Titi will be foolish to even play over players like Kai Havertz when you have Kai Havertz, Christian Pulisic, Akam Ziyech, Mason Mount that can interchange in your front three as against playing a guy that is going to be static and not play to what you really want. Maybe they should know him to Arsenal. That's the kind of player Arsenal wants, not Harry Maguire. Kati, to the one that I actually did guess right, which was Villarreal versus Juventus. Villarreal defeated Juve towards the tail end of the match, 3-0. I said Danjuma was going to score. It did score penalty, nonetheless, but it did 3-0. It was it definitely was a shock for you anyway. So tell me how much of a shock? How much of a shock?
It was a big shock. I was going through my notes then. I thought I predicted a 2-0 win for Juve. A bit embarrassing because it means that all Italian teams in the Champions League have been knocked out. Knowing that the number of teams you can send to the league is based on coefficients, which is based on the performances of your representatives in previous season, it may lead to the Italian league potentially losing one seat, one slot, as or direct automatic qualifiers. Right now, they get 4 automatic qualifiers. Yeah, it may lead to them potentially losing one to the playoffs. But back to the game itself, the Wonder Kid was unable to do that for Juventus this time around. Villarreal stayed compact and outthought Juve, lasting them for as long as they did. Credit to Juve though, because it wasn't as if they were without bites. They just did not have the finishing on the night. Penalties and indiscipline cost them that game more than the tactical awareness of Villarreal. But you have to take your chances however you get there. But I don't think it was a surprise to everyone except you who predicted it, but that does not make you an oracle. But Villarreal, I don't want to say they will even fancy their chances. I think they are playing with house money now. Anywhere they get beyond this is a bonus to their season.
It's a bonus to them, of course. Unless they are living in a fool's paradise, I think that will be the thought, the thinking of their management. Now to the pairings, the draws itself, Villarreal is going to be playing against Bayern Munich, potentially. I don't think we should talk about it. We should just gloss over it, since we say halftime. It's not going to come out up until April the 6th. So Villarreal is going to be playing against Bayern Munich, Chelsea against Real Madrid yet again, Manchester City against Atletico Madrid, Benfica versus Liverpool. I don't want us to predict right now. Far ahead, we'll still do a little bit more preview before then, unless you guys have a different thought. But if you don't mind, I would like to go ahead with other sporting news. And of course,
Let's do that.
all right, perfect. And of course, Xavi is doing a wonderful job at Barcelona, resurrection at Barcelona. Much kudos to Jordi Cruyff and of course Laporta as well for what they've done for Barcelona, trying to get them off the stinking debt they are in right now, about 1.6 billion euros as of right now, apart from their present expenses, which makes it. But they've been able to get deals across the line that could potentially get Barca out of this mess. But the news out of the French capital is the fact that Lionel Messi could be coming back to Barcelona. I don't. I think he's just going to disrupt everything. Would you want to see Lionel Messi back at Barcelona, Shay?
Okay, for for reasons best known to me and myself and my family, I would say no. I would say no.
Kachi, what about you? Okay.
It's a definite no for me. The current Barcelona team has been built around a collective effort and not a single superstar. He's going to destroy. I'm not saying he may not work with Xavi, but he's going to set them back one season for them to rearrange how they play. Right now, Aubameyang with a returning Messi, and actually that rumor came because Dani Alves
yeah,
came out to say that Messi is miserable in Spain, in France. Although it hasn't really come from the Barcelona management, but if it should happen, and I know you had maybe possibly other reasons, but I believe if it does happen, it's going to set Barcelona back at least 6 months because the system has completely changed. It's not really tiki-taka they are playing, but everybody is playing for each other. No one single star is shining. Even Pedri, that we thought would be the biggest star, right now we see Dembele shining, Aubameyang getting the goal. When Messi comes, they become heavily dependent on him, and it will not allow others grow. Similar to what LeBron James does in any franchise he goes to.
You just have to do that. Come on, man.
He destroys the youth.
Come on, man. Shay, you wanted to add something. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, Debo. I think it's from the perspective of commercials in the first place. One of the reasons why Lionel Messi had to leave Barcelona is about a compounding mistakes they've been doing about their finances. If we look at that, I don't think they really want to put themselves into that situation once again. That is off-field matters. I support what Kachi mentioned about Lionel Messi coming back is actually going to disrupt that pattern of play. I've watched these guys under Xavi in recent times, and I've seen almost everybody, especially from the deep midfield to the attack, chase the ball at every time. They close down their opponents quickly, and they also run off the ball together. When you have a Lionel Messi back into the team and you have to play all the ball towards him, it disrupts that rhythm. I think that will just affect the Barcelona plan, the way Xavi is building the team at the moment.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much. I'm moving straight to the FA Cup. Chelsea defeated the conqueror of Manchester United and Sports 2-0. Lukaku getting on the scorer sheet. And of course, Crystal Palace laid Everton to the sword. 4-0 he ended. City looked like they were going to succumb to their usual boogie team, but they defeated Southampton 4-1, and Liverpool managed to defeat Nottingham Forest away from home thanks to a Diogo Jota goal, 1-0. Now for the semi-final, Chelsea has thrown themselves off the bat by playing against Crystal Palace, whom expectedly whom we expect them to win, potentially. And of course, City against Liverpool yet again. And we have an outstanding for both these teams sometime, I believe, after the international break in the Premier League, closely followed by the FA Cup, which we'll be talking about in the nearest future. And of course, in the Serie A, we have a photo finish for everybody right now. A photo finish for everybody right now. Roma defeated Lazio away from home. Don't forget, Roma has won 15 games this season, drawn 6 and lost 9 against Lazio that have won 14, draw 7 and lost 9. So they look identical in terms of their point and their play. But Roma were able to defeat them 3-0. Atlanta defeated Bologna 1-0 away from home. Juve continued their good form, their good run of form, defeating Salernitana 2-0. And of course, Empoli played 1-1 against Alaves Verona. Vezena lost at home against Sampdoria 2-0. Napoli, thanks to a Victor Osimhen brace, defeated Udinese 2-1. Inter could only manage a 1-1 draw against Fiorentina, while Milan, thanks to Giroud assist, defeated Cagliari 1-0 away from home. Looking at the stand right now, Milan is sitting on top, not comfortably, but they're sitting on top right now with 66 points, leading Napoli by 3 points. Haven't played this equal number of games. Inter Milan closely following them with 60 points. I bet one game outstanding. Juventus are back in the 4-hour. For some strange reason, at 59 points, just 1 point shy of Inter Milan at 59 points. And Roma are on the 5th position, having climbed away from their close rivals with that victory at 51 points. Atlanta with 51 points as well. I bet one game outstanding, and which I believe is going to be against Inter Milan. Correct me if I'm wrong, Kachi. And of course, Fiorentina 8th position, Lazio 7th position with 49 points. Akachi looks like a photo finish for me if you look at the top 4 right now: 66, 63, 60, 59.
59, yes. Yes, it's shaping up to be that. We thought Juve were out of contention, especially with how poor they started the season.
Yeah.
But they've been able to reel the other guys at the top in. And Napoli seem to have also come back to form, winning games they should win and grinding out wins when you think they didn't do enough or they haven't done enough to get the victory. Inter Milan, for some reason I cannot explain, has continued their mid-season slump. Losing easily winnable games. You can argue that the only consistent team right now, albeit not convincingly, is AC Milan. 8 games to go. Pretty much, if Milan should win all 8 games as they stand right now, they'll become league champions. This is actually 1 year ahead of schedule for me. If you remember in my assessments at the beginning of the season, I thought they should finish 4th position, or if they finish 2nd like they did last year, again this year, it would be sustained improvement. But it's looking like Stefano Pioli is getting the best out of the team, considering that they have a combined age of almost 80 years between their top 2 strikers, in Zlatan Ibrahimovic and Olivier Giroud, but still getting the goods. The young lads are coming in. I don't think the season is over. There are still some potential banana skin games for AC Milan. They just have to do their best to take it game by game, and maybe finally we'll get our 2nd star on the jersey. Forza Milan.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that. And of course, I want to come to you running up the La Liga. Espanyol defeated Mallorca 1-0. Celta Vigo played a 0-0 draw against Real Betis. Cadiz defeated Villarreal 1-0. Sevilla with Antonio Martial could only manage a 0-0 draw against Real Sociedad. Just note, Sevilla has lost just 2 games all season. Real Madrid, having won 20 games, drawn 6 and lost 3. lost 2 before the match on Sunday against Barcelona, lost against Barcelona at home 4-0. A day before that, on Saturday, Granada grounded Alaves 3-2. Elche lost at home against Valencia 1-0. Osasuna defeated Levante 3-1. While Atletico Madrid continued their resurgence with a 1-0 victory against Rayo Vallecano. As it stands right now, we see Real Madrid still on top of the league. They probably have won the league anyways. And someone asked Carlos Ancelotti, is he going to having 10 points gap right now? Is he going to lose the league? He said, I don't like that kind of question, but I was once 3-0 up in the final of the Champions League and I still lost the game. So what do you think about that? Real Madrid with 66 points right now, closely followed by Sevilla with 57 points. Madrid still have a game on hand. Atletico Madrid third position with 54 points. The resurgent Barcelona, which is making me happy right now, 51 points, especially with Aubameyang banging the goals for them and Shemi Sonny Abacha. And of course, Real Betis with 50 points as well. Sheyi, photo finish is not going to happen here. Looks like Real Madrid is going to win no matter what. That's my opinion. I stand to be corrected. But with Sevilla, Atletico Madrid, and Barcelona, especially with Atletico, Barcelona, and Real Betis, those 3 teams, doesn't look like it looks like anybody's game to take. Barcelona also have 2 games on hand, anyways, compared to other guys. So if Barcelona should win their 2 games at hand, they would be second.
I think Barcelona has like 1 game on them all now.
On them now. Okay, I haven't played against Real Madrid.
Yes, I haven't played against Real Madrid. Definitely between those 3, it's going to be a photo finish. I see Sevilla still coming further down. No. Looking at the stage of the season, talking of they've played up to like 28, 29 games right now.
Yeah.
We're talking of these are championship games, remaining 8 to 10 matches. If you look at the form of these other 2 teams, Barcelona and Atletico, it seems they just picked up steam at this particular part of the season. And guess what? It's fantastic for Real Madrid that they've actually garnered all the points over the season and they're sitting pretty at the moment. So they can coast. They can afford to lose to a Barcelona 4-0 at home and still look behind them and see 9 points between them and the next person, which means they can regroup and make sure they just coast to cross over the line. But for the other 3, I think Barcelona and Atletico will probably the ones fighting for the second place. I see it's going to be like the story of, I think, was it Frank Rijkaard that brought Ronaldinho to Barcelona in those days, and they were almost fighting relegation, and at the end of the season they were second. It's looking like that is what Xavi is doing at the moment, and that will be a massive a massive star on in fact a massive what's it called, reputation for Xavi in the Spanish La Liga in total, not to talk of Barcelona. This is a Messi-less Barcelona. Everybody has predicted doom for this particular Barcelona, but look at what he has done so far. He's most likely going to win the Europa Cup, most likely. That's still to happen. And I think he's actually going to finish second this season. And he's going to set up a fantastic next season for the Spanish La Liga.
All right, perfect. And if I agree with you totally, considering that Sevilla in the last 5 games have drawn 4, drew 4 out of their games, winning just 1. Madrid actually won 4, losing 1 against Barcelona, of course. Barca has won 5 out of their last 5 games. Atletico Madrid won 5 out of the last 5 games as well. And Real Betis is closely following them, has lost 2 out of the last 5, drawing 1 and winning 2. So basically, it's I agree with you totally. If you look at the shape and form, everything is taken right now. Barca potentially could be finishing second, and if they reenact the god of Arsene Wenger, I think 1996 or 1997, we could be in for a shocker. Trust me, we could be in for a shocker. I hope Real Madrid gather their thoughts together. But of course, I just want Aubameyang to score goals and see what Arsene Wenger. Sorry, I said Arsene Wenger. Did I say Arsene Wenger? What
yes, you did.
what
Sonny Abacha.
Mikel Arteta is definitely missing. And in the Premier League, Leeds United came back to win against Wolverhampton Wanderers. But what we keep saying, it's the inconsistency with these referees. That was never and will never be a red card for Raul Jimenez. And without that red card, I'm pretty sure Leeds will not win this match. I don't know. Wolves wants to qualify for Europe. This could potentially, this is a team they should be winning, considering what Leeds have done over the course past couple of months. It's a game they should be winning, but thanks to bad refereeing again, we have Leeds winning this one on the 9th. And of course, on Saturday, Arsenal defeated Aston Villa. Wonderful and precarious point for Arsenal against Aston Villa. Villa did not come to the party in the first half. Second half, when it came around, it was too late. But of course, Bellinello was in goal for Arsenal. You never could tell what he's going to do. But fortunately for Arsenal, they managed the 1-0 victory over Aston Villa. Liverpool Manchester United match was postponed. So I'm glad that United is facing Liverpool next. So that's another potential loss for for Manchester United. Leicester City go back to winning ways, thanks to Madison and Castella 2-1 against Brentford. And of course, Tottenham doing what they don't know how to do best, which is winning 1 against West Ham 3-1. Tottenham has lost 10 whooping games this season. Catchy. What do you think they should do next season? This is a very terrible start for a team that has at least 2 world-class players, if not 3. They have Lloris.
Yeah,
Lloris,
they have a World Cup
Son,
winner, Lloris, Harry Kane,
Son.
Yeah. You can argue that Reguilon is also picking up the pace. You can argue that's what I said. But when a team has an amazing coach doubting his abilities, you know that the thing runs so deep. Whatever is happening to Tottenham runs deeper than what we see on the surface. There's something happening at the back end that even Antonio Conte has been unable to figure out or to understand. And we see that mindset has followed, unfortunately, Pochettino to France, losing games 3-0 to Monaco over the weekend. That is a story for another day. But what needs to happen, we've said this times and again, even before we started this show, before I came on this show, we've always said Tottenham needs to tear whatever script they have now and start afresh. But how many times will Tottenham start afresh? They've tried youth, it hasn't worked. They've tried bringing back old stars in their rebuild, it hasn't worked. So asking me right now, is you believing that my oracleness has a solution to what Tottenham's malaise is? Ladies and gentlemen, I know you expect me to give you factual information as a sports analyst, but Tottenham just need to exercise their demons, but I don't know how. They probably need to come and play in the Nigerian league. That is when they can start winning something. I'm sorry, there's really nothing I can say about sports.
All right, perfect. Sheyi, and looking at the table right now, a couple of weeks back, looks like City were coasting. There were about 10 points. There was about 10-point gap between them and Liverpool. And looking at the table right now, it's just 1 point. Just one. And they still have a game against Liverpool. I believe, if I'm not mistaken, it's going to be at Etihad. But it
at
doesn't
the
matter.
Etihad.
It doesn't matter when you have Sunday, you have Luis Diaz, you have Salah.
Fantastic. The way the season is turning out is looking similar to what happened to Manchester United in the days of Sir Alex Ferguson, when Man City came from like 9 points down. And on the last day, it was just goal difference that separated the two teams. I think Man City players, I don't think any of the players that won that particular league is still in this particular team. But history will always be there for them to look and know that they are not coasting at all. And Pep Guardiola also said that the team hates playing Moses Liverpool. So he knows the quality in this Liverpool team. He knows that they can come back from the dead. But I still think if we look at the two teams, the teams they'll be playing to the end of this season, Liverpool still seem to have a tougher a run of matches, compared to Man City. The only team that Man City can really sit down, I think the only game they can put a 50-50 on is their game against Liverpool. While Liverpool still needs to play ancient rivals. They still need to beat Manchester United, even though we know that Manchester United is not a team to really reckon with. But that makes them dangerous, because it is when Liverpool needs the 3 points, that is when Manchester United will probably come to the party.
Exactly.
And tell them, just like Gandalf, like, you shall not pass. So it's very dicey for Liverpool. But I think they have quite a lot of quality in that team. What Klopp has done to his attacking three now, it's so phenomenal.
Exactly.
We've always been saying that the likes of Mane, Salah, and Firmino, they need rest. They cannot keep up with the pace of Klopp's system. But guess what? You have a Diogo Jota that sits on the bench and comes up any day, anytime, and bangs goals. You have a Luis Diaz that it's a monster on his own. And we're talking of someone that just joined the Premier League in the last 1 or 2 months. So
just a quick rundown of the fixtures of Liverpool, just to brush out what you said. They still have Aston Villa away from home, Watford at home, Manchester City away from home. They have Manchester United at home, Everton at home. They have Newcastle away from home, Spurs at home, and they have Southampton, and they have Wolverhampton Wanderers as well. While in contrast to Manchester City has Wolves away from home. They have Burnley away from home, Liverpool at home, Brighton at home, Watford at home, Leeds United away from home, Newcastle at home, West Ham away from home, and Aston Villa at home. So the fixtures on paper does not look balanced when you look at those both teams. So Kachi,
exactly.
On final notes, based on what we just saw now, are you going to say City should potentially win the league? 1, and 2, if they don't, can we boil it down to the lack of striker in the team? Maybe if they had an Harry Kane, they should be doing better than they are right now.
Not really, because they are still creating those chances with or without Harry Kane. They call it expected goals difference is higher than any other team. Don't forget that at a point they were coasting. Whether they should potentially win the league, I'm afraid that concentration level will drop based on the number of the quality and caliber of teams they have to play to the end of the season. It appears Liverpool will have their concentration level really high because they're playing excellent teams that are relatively safe. I don't think there's any team struggling there, if I remember correctly. So I believe based on that, Liverpool, Jurgen Klopp may be able to galvanize his team to let them know it is not yet won. Teams sometimes tend to take their foot off the pedal when I know that it's a Watford and a Burnley that I have back to back. And the thinker man sometimes may overthinker and cause a disruption in his team.
For himself.
But whether we can argue that the loss of a proven striker would be the reason. Yes, you can argue it, but the truth is they are creating more than enough that if they take the chances, because these guys, Pep Guardiola's team has always been a free-flowing team. From Barcelona to Bayern Munich, they've always had goals come from every angle. So now saying, oh, it's because we lost a talisman in a striker is the reason will become secondary. But then it could also be an indictment of Pep Guardiola. You did not secure Harry Kane. You went to chase out Aguero. Yes, we know what we know now with Aguero, but if nothing had happened, it would have been a slap in Pep Guardiola's face, really.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much for that with our analysis, Kachi and Sheyi. Thank you very much for making our day yet again. We'll see you again next week. My name is Laji Adeboale. Ensure you follow us on all our social media and do News Instanta _ on Instagram, News Instanta 1 and 2 on Twitter, and of course, News Instanta on Facebook. To see you again next week, my name is Laji. I'll sign out. Peace.